We all know the king of streaming, Netflix. And while it continues to offer a service that millions of people use, it's not without its issues. Did you know that it takes users about 20 minutes to decide what to watch? All these options and the need to keep people watching poses pretty interesting challenges for UX designers and researchers at Netflix. In this video, I want to answer a question that may come up in a UX research interview at Netflix and answer it together with you guys, just to kind of help you understand the types of responses people are looking for in these whiteboard style UX research interviews. So who am I? I'm just a guy. I'm currently a design researcher at IBM. Sometimes I do design bootcamp teaching. I occasionally mentor people, new designers and researchers, and I just love kind of contributing back because I know how hard it can be to get into design and research. So I just like making content to help you guys overcome whatever struggles you're going through as well. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering where I'm getting these questions from, I put together a free plugin for Figma that has hundreds of questions that are asked at tons of companies, both design and research. You can give it a try and you can practice today. The link is down below and in my bio in case you want to check it out. So here I am in Figma, and I just launched a challenge from Netflix, a research challenge. And this challenge goes a little something like, let's say you start a new research project at Netflix. What are some common questions to ask to get things started? So when starting a new research project, my mindset is always to get alignment, right? We need to understand what it is that we want from stakeholders. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, let me just expand this artboard over here, is one, I need to understand who are my stakeholders. So who are stakeholders? Let me add that over here. Whether that's making stakeholder mapping or just getting a lay of the land or asking, whatever my design manager is, I need to understand who's involved. And by stakeholders, I mean particularly what is the team that's asking for this research? Who's the project manager involved? Who are the executive sponsors, the developers on the team, etc. The next thing that I'm going to do is hear from them. I think the worst thing you can do is start with just being prescriptive from a research standpoint. You don't want to start saying, oh yeah, we need to research this or do that if you don't know exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So when I say hear from them, I'm specifically trying to understand the problem as they see it. So I'm not, I ideally don't want to be doing most of the talking. I want them to explain the context, explain where they are, what research has been done to date, and explain exactly what it is in their words that they're trying to learn. One methodology that comes straight from IBM's design thinking toolkit is a questions and assumptions exercise. And essentially that is where you gather your stakeholders in a room and individually you use like either in person or any kind of whiteboard tool like Mural, for example, or FigJam. You have all your stakeholders list all the open questions that we have about this project that we're doing at the moment individually, right? And then also list out all the assumptions that they think that we're making, right? For example, one question is, will our users want to actually use this new feature? And an assumption we're making is that we know the demographic of user who we're targeting, right? Once we have all the questions and assumptions laid out, then we spend some time discussing and really seeing do we agree, right? Because again, the main thing we want is to create alignment at the moment. So now we start to understand these are, we agree. These are sort of the main few questions and the main few assumptions. The next step after that is to organize it, right? What are the most critical questions that we need answered and the most critical assumptions that we need validated in order for this product to launch or in order for success? And we have the stakeholders align on that because, prior to this, it may be one stakeholder thinks one thing, the PM thinks something else, the developer thinks something else, etc. But for research to be done properly and us to kind of be able to do our jobs, we need to get this alignment going from the beginning to level set to make sure everything's to make sure we know what it is they want answered and to make sure from their perspective, they know how we can best be utilized. So I would be running, if possible, some sort of workshop like that. Once I understand enough from them, that's when I can kind of go out and actually start formulating something. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is preparing a research plan and presenting a research plan. So this is my first step of when I come to them that, guys, this is what I hear. This is the problem. This is what I think that we need to answer. This is the methodology that I think would be the best at answering this. And this is the objectives for this research. This is how long it's going to take. And this is the limitations of the approach that we're making. So it's very important that up until this stage, I didn't want to be the one who's doing most of the talking. I wanted them to be explaining it to me. It's also important because at this stage is where I get alignment from them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I missed the mark on what the objective is. Maybe there's a variable that I missed that may influence the methodology. That's where we nail all this stuff down in this plan. And that's when, with all the stakeholders in the room where I'm presenting the plan with, that is what I would do. So to recap what we learned, the most important things are, 1, ask who the stakeholders are. You need to know who you're working with in any kind of new research project. 2, ask how that team frames the problem, right? And hear it directly from them. In their words, what is the biggest thing that they need help with? Ask them what are the most important questions that they need answered in order to get this project moving. And also, what are the most important assumptions that they need validated in order to get this project moving? Ask them for alignment on your research plan, and then also ask them to agree and align on what makes success for this research. Again, if I were to summarize anything in this video, it would be to gain alignment. That's the most important thing you can do in the beginning as a researcher. If you like this video and you want to see more, please consider subscribing. Consider checking out my UX blog or any of the templates and plugins that I'm making for UX designers and researchers. See you next time.